All
I
right,
watch out for
guys, we
them
got
fuckers.
one of our new members to our group, Dre. He's been in there causing a lot of chaos, man. So we finally got him on. We're gonna figure out his personality type today so he can get his verified tag. Dre, man, how are you, man? And how'd you get into typology, man?
So I'm good. I actually got into typology. It's a crazy story. Me and one of my cousins, we always debate about intellectual conversations. And one day we were disagreeing on something. I think he's an INTJ, by the way. And he told me as an insult, he was like, "Bro, you're so black and white, you fucking SI dumb." And I'm like, "What is that? I don't even know what that is." So I started looking into I asked him like, "What are you referencing? What are you talking about?" And he was like, "MBTI." So I started looking into MBTI and I literally got into it at first just so I could debate with him
Mm-hmm.
to tell him that he's wrong about
Yeah.
what he thinks because he kept saying like, "Yo, you're so black and white, you're so black and white." And I'm like, nobody would ever say that. And I think he was just trying to say that to like get underneath my skin. So so basically what I did was I looked into it, I learned more, and then I just found out that it was related to Carl Jung. And I was already like doing a lot of research within the realm of Carl Jung's work because I follow Jordan Peterson a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And and yeah, and then after a while I just got more interested because it felt like what really gets me bored a lot of the times is when I feel like I can figure something out, but this felt like it was very hard to figure out, right? Because there's so many different ways that you can look at it. There's so many different ways that you can interpret it. So ultimately, it felt hard to be conclusive to me.
What do you like and dislike about it?
Um, well, first and foremost, I like the fact that it highlights what your strengths could be and also what your weaknesses could be as well. But I don't think that it needs to be taken as like fact, like as law, right? Like it's just a tool that helps you to navigate your
Mm-hmm.
life in some type of way, but not just for you, but also for understanding other people. Like for example, there's someone that I'm currently talking to. I know her personality type. I'm pretty sure she's ISTJ. And I see how she maneuvers and how she likes to do certain things. So it makes me be able to anticipate things that I can do for her that she would potentially like, right?
Mm-hmm.
So things like that is what I guess that's what I like about it. I think it just gives you a lot of different ways to look at people.
Okay, okay. All right, so we're gonna get into more of like who are you, man? So like who's Dre, man? Who would you say he is?
Yo, this is a crazy question, bro, because I'm at a weird phase in my life where I feel like um I am a soul that governs my body, right?
Right.
So I feel as though we have these labels that we place on ourselves in society in order to understand who we are. And I think when we start to form an identity, it's just an amalgamation of stories that we've adopted from society to essentially create like this like sense of self, I would say. But to me, I guess that's not who I am. Like I'm not necessarily my name, that's a label. I'm not the color of my skin. I'm not um from New York.
From
I don't even know who made New York. Like who called it New York in the first place, right? So I think I'm just a soul that is experiencing everything. And I think also that I am everyone that I speak to. So that's my answer. But if I give you like a traditional answer, I'm Dre, I'm from New York. Um, I've been doing marketing for a few years. I've run several businesses. I've had affiliate marketing business. I do consulting. I've had the education business. I've I do YouTube. I'm on LinkedIn. I have so many different things that I do. I have real estate investments. Uh yeah, that's me. Um I have a dog. So yeah.
How'd you get into real estate, man?
Just to be honest, I was making a lot of money and I was like, I need to figure out how to invest my money. So I wanted to buy a house because I wanted to do Airbnb.
Mm-hmm.
And it started with that. I bought my first house in cash and then I started to use it for Airbnb. And I was like, this is an awesome opportunity, especially because of how you can leverage your assets and stuff like that. So yeah, that's how I got into it.
Mm. You like it or just or, like what you like?
Um,
I kind of stayed away from real estate because of like all the property damages and all that. Like it just did not attract me. And like being and also like being on the call for everything that goes wrong with that motherfucker. I was like, I just don't want to deal with that. That's an unnecessary chaos I just do not want to deal with. So I went to more of the stock route.
so my mom, she basically, I let her like handle all of that, right? So like for me, I don't like being involved in that stuff either, to be honest. Like what I enjoy most, I guess right now with what I do to make money is consulting. And the only reason why I enjoy that a lot is because I'm always talking to different businesses and I work with like really huge businesses, right? I can't say like names because I have NDAs,
Mm-hmm.
but the constant shift in that is what's interesting to me. Whereas like real estate is just a way to be like to take the money that I'm making and just invest, right? So it's not like I'm attached to it or anything like that. I know my
Mm-hmm.
mom likes it, so I just let her handle that stuff.
Mm-hmm. Dope. All right, man. So how'd you get into consulting, man?
Oh man, this crazy ass story.
Damn, bro. Seems like
Um,
ain't nothing but crazy stories with you, huh? What the fuck are you what's that guy name? Fucking the rapper with crazy stories had all the crazy stories.
Who?
Shit, the one who got killed. King Von. You King Von
Oh
now?
yeah, man. All right. Oh man, this is a long ass story. So for the majority of my life, I was one of those kids that I didn't really know what I really wanted to do. Um, I just liked anything that made me feel like I was learning something new. I really love to learn. That's like my biggest passion, I would say. So if you put me in an environment where I can absorb new information, I'm always going to try to do that. Um, but as I was getting older, so I used to play this game called S4 League. I think I told you about it.
Hmm.
And I was like, the best in the world for like 5 years, undefeated or whatever. And I tried to take the the experiences I guess that I had from that and transfer it over to like other games like Super Smash Bros. And um and then I was trying to like play Super Smash Bros for a while and I was like going to tournaments and stuff of that nature. And then after a while I was just like, bro, I have to do something because I was in a weird situation where my mom was going through some hardship and at this time I didn't have like a job or anything like that. Like I wasn't thinking about the future, to be honest, like at all. Um I was thinking about the future, but I wasn't thinking about like I was thinking about the future as pertains to like games. I was like, okay, if I play this game, I could get good at it, and then I could like become one of the best in the world, like what I did in S4, right?
Hmm.
Um, and so like I kept doing that, and then after a while, I was just like, man, I got to do something else because I went down a a position in life where I started to like I basically was homeless. Like my mom, we lost everything. I basically was homeless. I was sleeping at an abandoned house where I used to have to like put a chain on the door in order to open the door, and that was embarrassing. And I was dating this girl at the time that I really liked a lot, and her mom was talking about how I wasn't shit and how I wasn't gonna be anything. And for me, like I've always been the type of person where it's like if you talk shit about me, I'm gonna make you regret it. Like if you want me to do something, tell me I can't do it. Like that's the best way to fuel me. Tell me I can't do it, and I will, tend to take things a little personally when it comes to that perspective. So I said, okay, I'm just gonna figure something out. So I had a job and I was working three jobs actually as security guard. And one day I was just at this job and this dude kept fucking bothering me. He's like, yo, take off your sweater, take off your sweater. He was the supervisor. He was watching me on the camera. He kept telling me, take off your sweater. I'm like, bro, why? Like, what's the big deal? And he was like, the residents are complaining that you got on a sweater. And I knew he was lying because before he was working there, I was there before him,
Hmm.
and they were going to lose that contract. And the only reason why they was able to keep the contract is because everybody liked me, right? So they literally told them like fire all the security guards and keep Dre, and then hire new security guards and let him train them. So I knew that this supervisor who was telling me this thing, he was lying. So long story short is he just kept pissing me off. I got mad. I just quit the job. I told him like, bro, if you keep bothering me, I'm gonna quit. And he didn't believe me, so I just left. And um and then I went and got a job. I had like two other jobs, but then I got another job. And at this other job that I got, um, that's really what fueled it though. Like I was so annoyed by this guy. But the other job that I got, there was a girl in there. She was like a mechatronics engineer. And I was just asking her, like, hey, do you think I could get a job as an engineer? And she was like, if you can understand it. And she told me to learn something called AutoCAD. And then I learned it in like a week. And she was super surprised that I was able to learn it that quick. And then I started going on Google and searching up how to get a job without because at this time I was like struggling, man. Like I was couch surfing, living in that abandoned house, taking showers at fucking LA Fitness. Like my life was fucking terrible. And and then I found like a video on YouTube that said, because I also was very opposed to college. I thought
Mhm.
that college was fucking stupid. Like I didn't want to go to school, get all this debt just to pay back all this debt and get a piece of paper to make money. I'm like, there has to be a better way to do this. And also, a lot of the times when I would talk to certain professors, it's like when I was in college, because I went for like a semester, I felt like they didn't know what the fuck they was talking about. Like I knew more, like when I would study stuff, I felt like I knew more on the topic than them. So it's like, why am I doing this? I could just teach myself. So I ended up teaching myself. I went online. So back to I went online, I looked up what to do and blah 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 blah. And I found it was like you could do web development, you could do UX UI, you could do web SEO, and you could do Google Ads or something like that. And I literally tried all of them. I tried all of them. And the one that I liked the most at first was ads because it was like, okay, whatever, I'm gonna just run some ads. This shit is easy. But to learn ads, you have to have the budget. And at the time, I was broke as fuck. So it's really hard. I built my own website. I built all my own shit. I taught myself everything. And I was trying to like run ads for myself. And I was doing like my own email marketing. I was doing like everything on a website called positivethinking.org. And and then I was failing. Like I failed a whole bunch and I learned a whole bunch of shit. But this actually helped me because because I got to a point where I started to get good. Like I started to get good at what I was doing, and I decided that I was going to stick with ads and SEO. And so I had friends who were trying to start businesses, and they would just ask me, "Hey, can you help me to run to grow my business?" And one of the first friends that asked me to help him, a he was a fucking he was trying to like start a vape shop, and there was like restrictions with ads against vape, right? But he could do SEO, so he could rank on Google. I don't know if you guys are familiar with SEO, but it's just
It's just
like,
how to rank, right? Like how to
right.
be seen.
Yeah, exactly, on
Yeah.
Google. So, I helped him with that, and I just started thinking to myself, like, at first I was like, I started to notice all of the opportunity that was here when I started joining other Discord servers, and people would I would see like there was this one influencer named Chase who was just doing all this shit. I'm like, bro, like if he's doing this, I could do this shit. Like, so the friend that I helped to grow his business, he started recommending other people to me, and I started getting a whole bunch of clients. And what I did was I took all of those I made it like a case study out of it, and I took all of those and I put them together, and I just started I started going to jobs and pitching myself, like literally I didn't have a resume, I just had work and results, and I started pitching myself. And I remember the first job offer that I got, they were like, "Hey man, this is like an entry level position. We don't want to waste your time." I was like, bro, like you're not wasting my time. Like you can hire me. Like I need this fucking job. Because I knew once I got into that job, right? I knew like it was only up from there. Like I could only see how everything could turn out, bro.
I'm just laughing, man. It's just kind of funny because it's like you don't even look at the downside. It's like it can only be positive. Like it's
Yeah,
all.
bro. Bro, I literally was like, okay, I got this.
And that's how what leads you motherfuckers to be at homeless sometimes. It's kind of funny. It's
Bro,
funny as hell.
let me tell you, bro. So I um I go in there. And I have now it's different because like I pitched myself and they're like, okay, we got this new guy, whatever. I actually had two job offers um the same week. And it's funny because I didn't know this, but they told me afterwards they both knew each other. It was the wife and the husband of two different they were married, but they worked at two different companies, right?
Mm.
And they were fighting over who was gonna get me. It was funny as fuck. And so like when I got into that job, I had experience from everything that I was doing, all the shit that I fucked up, that I learned on my own, and also with all my friends and all that other shit. And then I also had um, like all the I was getting exposed to what they had. So now, like the issue, the not the issue, but the good thing for me was that I was going in there with my own frameworks, my own system, my own shit that nobody knew how to do because they were still stuck on what they were doing. So my clients. Were you gonna say something?
Shit, bro, you kind of remind like when you talk, kind of sounds like DJ Academics, bro. Like you phasing in. I'm like, is this DJ Academics? Like, bro, like swear to God, I'm like, is this DJ fucking Academics talking, bro? Like, what the fuck? I'm like, holy shit! It's like it just keeps
Bro,
hitting.
I'm
Is
hyped
this
right now.
DJ
I'm hyped.
Academics? Like, what the fuck? Like that? Oh
Bro,
my God, bro, you sound like DJ Academics. But keep going.
bro, so I went in and I started like because I had all of these things that I was testing with all these other people. I was just testing all this shit. And that's how I was learning. Like everybody was listening to what the industry was saying. And I was like, I was first I started, I would read what people in the industry are saying, and then I'd be like, let me try this shit, try it, and then try to conclude if it worked or not. And the shit wouldn't work. So I'm like, everybody's saying to do this thing, but it doesn't work. So I'm gonna have to figure this shit out by myself. So I started like conducting my own tests on my clients to to determine what they were and or what works. Like how do you actually, get results aside from like my own stuff because it's different in every vertical. And so like now I had the shit that I was doing for myself. I had knowledge of that. I had knowledge of everything that I did for all my friends. I had knowledge of all of their friends, like all businesses that I worked with. And I was able to go into the job that I had got and apply everything that I knew to that. So that job was like a cakewalk for me because these guys were following this old methodology that the whole industry was saying to follow, and I was doing my own shit. And so I was a top performer in that company. And then after that, that dude Chase that I told you about that I had saw, I
Mhm.
actually linked up with him in a Discord group. So I like pitched myself to him to do all his SEO for all his clients because he was like a big influencer at the time. He had like 20,000 subscribers on YouTube. That was kind of big at that time, especially in the
Mhm.
SEO space. And I just
How
worked
long
out a
ago
deal.
was that? How long ago
Uh,
was that?
that was like 2016,
Oh yeah, that is quite.
2016.
That's yeah.
Yeah. So I was like, I basically worked out a deal with him and I was like, yo, you just pay me 30% and I'll do everything for you and you take the rest. And I was like, you just pay me 30% per client. And so we worked like that. And so we worked on all this stuff together. I was doing all the work. He was like promoting everything. And then we had like another guy there too. And so like now I was exposed to so many different things. So I was just learning way faster than everybody else because of how many things I exposed myself to and how many fucking mistakes I was making. So so I went from doing that, worked my way up, eventually decided to like stop working on client work on my own so I could like see where this thing would take me. So, and I also want to get my friends into this stuff. So I was like, you know what? I can't hire my friends right now. So let me work my way up, put myself in a position to where I could get my friends in this shit. And they don't have to go to school. Like, fuck school. That was my mentality at the time. So
Fuck
I
school.
worked up, I got all the way to working with like, huge Fortune 500 brands. And then after a while, I was like, man, why am I doing like this shit? Like, I don't want to do this anymore. Like, this shit is, I feel like I
Bored.
basically, huh?
Bored.
Yeah, I was bored. I felt like I beat the game. Like I beat the corporate game. Like I
Uh,
did everything that you could do. Like I worked my way up to like VP. I was managing like a lot of people, like huge teams for big brands. Um, I was like getting frustrated because like people people are so like sometimes they're so rigid in their thought process. And I don't know, it just frustrated me. So I was like, I have to do something by myself. Um, so that's when, and while I was doing all of this, by the way, because I never did one thing, right? Even when I dropped clients, I was always doing something. Like I was always on YouTube, I was always on social media, I was always creating content, I was always doing something. I can't just do one thing. I have ADHD, I get bored, as you said. So I while I was creating content on YouTube, like everybody on my channel kept saying, like, yo, man. can you create a course? Can you do this? Can you do that? And then also I was like creating like affiliate websites and I was doing like shit with ClickBank. I don't know if you know what ClickBank is, but
No, I
I
don't.
was doing shit with ClickBank. I started like a Shopify store, just all this shit all at once. I got my friends, I accomplished the goal of getting all my friends um the job environment. And then yeah, then I just started doing this shit for myself. Like I started doing it for myself, started working with roofers, law firms. I still work with big brands. Like I work with a huge, I won't say the name of the company, but you probably will be able to guess. Work with a huge company that focuses on like, baby pampers and shit like that. It starts with a G. And baby
Gerber?
food and shit like
Oh shit.
that. I'm not gonna say the name. Uh, but you could guess. Um, yeah, I work with banks. And now I'm at a weird phase in my life where I've tried every single thing. And I started to realize that through trying all of this shit and through doing everything, I kind of, number one, I never really did any of this for me per se. Like this was just like more of a, I didn't want my mom to feel bad about like the fact that everybody was progressing in life and I wasn't really doing shit at one point. And then also it was like I was in survival mode. We lost everything. So I had to figure out how to get everything back so that at least so my mom didn't have to worry, you know. And but now I'm just trying to figure out what's next. I'm trying to do something. I'm trying to engage my FI to be honest. That's at least how I feel.
Hmm. Man, damn, that was a fucking ton.
30 minutes.
Well, Thomas is frozen, I think.
Am I? Let
Yeah,
me
no, you're
see.
back, you're back, you're back. Man, so I'm just gonna ask you one more question because we're done. I think t me and Thomas are both done. We've been done. Uh, what do you think people misunderstand about you?
I think people think that I always want to be right about something when in reality I just want to hear every perspective and I think like I want people to be more, I guess, open-minded about things, right? So sometimes
All right, Henley.
'cause I also have another out so
I
there's more
said,
than
all right, Henley.
there's more than
Henley
one
always
thing,
says
right?
that shit. Henley always says that shit. I just want people to be more
It-
open-minded.
there's more than one thing
All right,
actually because
bro.
I also think that people have this weird thing of thinking that I'm always trying to psychoanalyze them, right? Which
Mhm.
I'm not. Well,
Stop lying.
all right, it depends on how you're looking at it, right? Like,
Oh,
okay.
it depends on
Penny.
how you're looking at it. Okay.
It depends on how you're looking at it. But I, I want people to know that everything that I'm trying to do with regarding them comes from a good place, even if they feel like it doesn't. So like if I'm like the girl that I'm talking to right now, she hates the fact that I think she's an SI Dom, by the way. She hates the fact that she feels like I'm always trying to analyze her and she doesn't hate it, but like I could tell it's a little annoying even though she doesn't like outright say it. And I just want everybody to know that I mean well, I guess.
All right, dope, dope. All right, man. So we're gonna go over this, man. Pretty standard procedure here. Yeah. We got you as ENTP, bro. First thing you said was very journey focused on how you got in the type. So many ways you can look at it, perspectives, all that type of shit. Weird phase of my life, progression, soul governing my body, abstract. I don't really like these TE labels, TE critic, school, against school. Soul that is experiencing everything. I put that for abstract, SINE. Um, make me feel you need to be stimulated with learning something new. Obviously, that's extroverted perceiving dominant, whatever it is. Um, Talked about your experiences transferring, talking about bringing your own system to new places, not following other people's systems, building your own systems. And that's a real thing that ENTPs do. They're very good at, I think, of like starting a new system, but they're not good. Other people can't follow an ENTP system because an ENTP system is so fluid, right?
Correct.
Um, And like for instance, like if I devise a system, you got one or two choices here, one or two choices here, one or two choices here, and it's a straight line. When the ENTP devises a system, there's a million choices at everywhere. You could be at
Yeah.
step three and not be at step three. You could be at step one, and you could be at like something could happen. You could be at step seven, and then something could happen, and you could be at step one. Like it's so fluid. Um, so
You can't
that's why I
be.
tell people like you can't really follow an ENTP system because it's made for an ENTP or somebody who can improvise.
That's
Um,
how I used to play S4. People used to wonder, like, bro, what the fuck are you doing? Like, how are you coming to these conclusions? And I'm like, I get it. If you don't get it, that's on you. I mean, I try to explain it and stuff. There's one guy who was able to grasp it extremely well. He actually became really, really good at the game, but a lot of people they didn't really understand it. And they also thought that I was overthinking because I would always one thing about me is I would always theory craft. When I'm 15 years old, I was doing shit that streamers do now. Like when they look at their gameplay and they watch and they try to like understand what they did wrong and blah blah blah. I was doing that. Like I was watching my videos back all the time.
hmm
So
Yeah,
yeah, I
yeah.
don't really know shit about Enneagram. I'm curious to know a
Well,
little bit more about
well,
that.
Enneagram is it's a little bit of nurture and nature. While your type code is like basically what we do here is we identify your core type. I don't you probably damn we Thomas, we need to do an actual video on breaking that down better.
Yeah.
Put on the YouTube. But so what we do here with interaction styles is we actually find your core type. And your core type is essentially your DNA. It's how you see the world, it's how you think, it's how you like that's just how you are.
Process.
Process the information, all that type of stuff. And then you have the develop stuff, which is kind of like what people see on the outside, and that's through the continuation of things that bleed into you over time. Like you being an ENTP, that will bleed into you over time, and then you also have the environment will also bleed in you over time, right? And then that as a whole becomes the developed self. Um,
Gotcha.
so
Okay.
like a lot of people may say, oh, Dre comes off like an ENTJ because of like all the business consulting, all
Hmm.
that shit.
Yep,
They would
definitely.
say your developed self comes off ENTJ-ish, right?
Gotcha.
But we over here use interaction style so we can pinpoint to actually like who you really are. Um,
Gotcha.
but when you're looking at Enneagram, it's like I see it as like we all made a deal with the devil in one way or another. For instance, for myself, I told myself if I was successful and I was great and I did all this stuff, that I would have everything I wanted in this world, right? So that's the philosophy that I told myself. That's Enneagram 3 shit, right?
Mhm.
Thomas probably told himself totally something totally different. Like, I gotta minimize my resources, minimize my energy, like be very scarce about what I do, where I put my energy, where I put my time, and knowledge, that's more of their thing, being a five.
Yeah.
Um, but I think everyone like makes a deal with the devil, man. It's like a deal with the devil. Every Enneagram kind of did that in one way or another as a kid.
Gotcha. Yeah. And
Your threes are usually your hyperachievers, high achievers,
Hmm.
right? They believe
Three
like
SO.
everything could be satisfied by through them achieving stuff, right?
literally one of my friends, he was texting me yesterday. He was like, "Bro, why the fuck are you not a billionaire yet?" Like he randomly just shot me a text. And I'm like, "Bro, I don't know how to focus." Um, I was gonna ask, so
That was like
one thing
cake
that I
mom.
will One thing that I will say that definitely the way that I realized that I was a ENTP, because when I first came, somebody in the group actually called me an ENTP, and I was like, I'm not a fucking ENTP. I was like, I'm not even extroverted. Like I'm introverted. I'm always by
No,
myself, blah
no,
blah blah, blah.
we
Right?
get that so much, don't we, Thomas? We get
What
that so
happened?
much. We get that so much, don't we, with the ENTP
Always, yeah.
shit? Yeah, saying, oh,
Yeah, I it's just funny because like that was the main inconsistency to me because I told you guys this story already, but I got typed like first I typed myself an INTP because I was like, okay, I definitely have TI, and it's so apparent when I'm arguing. Like if you're arguing with me,
hmm
my TI is like this, right? But but I was like, I couldn't see like TINE in that order.
hmm
So then when I got typed by this girl, I'm not gonna say her name, and she told me I was an INFJ.
Who?
No. No,
Who?
no, that's
Name
terrible.
names.
No.
She
Name
told me I was
names.
an I. I'm not gonna name her name.
Name names. Drop names.
She said I was an INFJ, and I was like, huh?
All that damn talking you doing, boy.
She she was like, you. She was like, yeah, no, like you seem like an INFJ, and
Really?
I was like, how? And she gave me like an explanation. She said she couldn't see my SI, and she felt like
Really? You keep talking about first person perspective this whole time. It's
yeah.
yeah, overwhelming.
She was like she couldn't see my SI, and she said that because I said something like my day would be better if I make somebody else's day better or some shit like that.
I
That she
mean, that's
thought
just
like,
FE. That's just
FE,
FE.
yeah.
I mean,
yeah,
TI and FE are on the axis together. So, I mean, like in general, TI FE users like to make other people's day better.
yeah,
It's just how it is, you know. It's weird. They get a little bit of satisfaction out of seeing, happiness in other people or someone else's day easier. It's
but
weird.
that's also like one of my biggest like it's like that's good, but then that's another thing that kind of stops me sometimes. I think that's what stops me from like actually getting way further because sometimes I'll have an idea and the idea will sound good, but then I'll stop myself from executing the idea because I'll be like, like even though I like this idea, how valuable is this to other people?
That's
And
FE.
yeah, and so like I'll come up with ideas and then I'll start to like do this thing where I'm like, I don't really know if people are gonna really want this. Let me look at this other thing, and then it like becomes this cycle of looking at multiple things. So yeah, so I do that a lot, but I
So,
feel
so,
like
so what you're explaining there is that you're generating ideas with any being your hero function,
Hmm.
but you're choosing the best idea based off FE, not TI.
yeah,
So it's helping you eliminate choices to like what other people would like, you know?
yeah,
So
yeah.
it works. What was I was about to say something. Fuck, I forgot. My memory's so ass. Damn, I was just about to say something too. Oh
I'm
man.
eliminating things with FE.
Oh no, I'm just saying in general. So that's how like because I know what I was about to say. So what I've noticed over time is that people don't actually see the hero function. The things that they're most conscious of is their parent and their child function. And I'm working on a theory that I think because of the hero's influence on a person, they don't really notice it that much, right? Because
Mm,
it's like automatic for
It's
them.
like
It's
it's
like
like too
breathing.
close
It's like
almost.
breathing to them. So like they don't even register it that they use it so much. So I think that's the reason why people have no like because the hero is in a way like in always in effect
mhm.
in like almost every like scenario. I think it has its grubby hands on everything to the point that you can't even see your inferiors as well. So I think like those two functions are kind of invisible to people, and that's the reason why people mistype themselves because they can pick up on their parent and they can pick up on their child function, but they can't pick up on their heroes and they can't pick up that much because the hero's always going, so you just never see it. You'll get people on there that they never really see it, but
Yo,
people outside of you can see it. People outside of you can see it.
that's crazy because I knew for sure I had TI and FE. I
Yeah.
knew for sure. I was like 100% on that. Um, Also, I was gonna say something. You said something that reminded me of something.
Oh, well, also like, um ENTPs or ENFPs, they generate ideas. That's their hero function. But they have to go through which idea they want to use. And for an ENTP, they have TI, so they can say, oh, what's the most logical possibility here? And then they
Yeah,
take that out of the 10, right? They can also use FE and says, what would benefit other people out of these possibilities and take that one. ENFP would take, you know, um, TE and FI. Which one is most valuable to me? Okay.
Yeah.
And which one is productive to others or
mm,
get things done. But people have to realize the hero pretty much makes all the decisions. People just don't even fucking know it. They just don't even fucking know it. He's there. He's making decisions. He's that guy who's got the like
you don't even.
He's
Yeah,
the
you don't.
Donald Trump. He's the Donald Trump. He's got to sign off on everything, making everybody else life hell. That's how I see it.
So
If he
my
don't like some shit, he signed an executive order to get your ass out of here, you know?
yeah, that's funny. Well, my INTJ cousin, when he's actually in the group too, by the way.
Hmm.
When he like after he got over his like little his his little fit or whatever, later on we were talking when I got when that girl told me that I was an INFJ, I went to him and I was like, because he puts NI on this high pedestal, right? Like he's like, yeah, I got NI and I can see all these visions and I have pattern recognition, and blah 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 blah,
Drinking the
right?
Kool-Aid.
He puts this. He's like, yo, like I can tell the future and blah blah blah. He puts this shit on a high pedestal, right? He
Yeah.
honestly describes NI how most people to me would describe NE.
Yes,
You
so
know,
he may got that shit wrong, buddy.
yeah, he's bro. He's like in his own imagination. So one day we were talking. When no, so when so since he puts NI on such a high pedestal, I came back to him and I was like, yo, guess what the girl told me I am,
Hmm.
right? And I knew he's gonna be pissed because he doesn't want me to have the same shit as him. I'm
Wow.
like, yo, he doesn't want me to have NI. Like, he doesn't give a fuck about anything else. But like,
Uh-huh.
like, you don't got NI, right? Like, he
Uh-huh.
always says that.
Uh-huh.
So I
This
told
guy
him like,
ENFP. I'm wondering if he's ENFP because this doesn't sound like INTJ shit, but
I,
whatever.
I think he's an INTJ. I just think like when it comes to me,
But
he
he's
just
describing NI as NE. That's weird, bro.
so the way I think like he understands what how NI is, but I'm like he's like how like when you sometimes when you look in the mirror, you don't see yourself, right?
Hmm.
Like you're putting it on this such a high pedestal that your perception of what you believe is actually jaded. You're starting to like look at it in a way or in a light that nobody else sees it but you. And I think like that's
Well,
kind of what's happening to him, right?
well, I think it's the internet. I think the internet hypes up NI.
Yeah,
I was explaining it to Henley. Was like I think honestly, if as much time as like some of us who are strong in NI spend it on another skill, we would be really good at it. Um, because NI doesn't work the way you want it to work all the time. Like you could be like, man, I gotta pull this together and I gotta do this. And I'd be like, bro, I'm not working today. Like, I'm not working today. Like,
bro,
I'm
let
not
me,
working, you know? So
dude.
like it's not like that's why like a lot of times NI users will say strong ones will say like, yo, I gotta get away from people or like I gotta
Yeah,
like
yeah,
do something else. And during that time, the brain will be synthesizing information, right?
yeah,
It'll synthesize information like pulling concepts together into one, and then boom, they got the light bulb. But it doesn't work the way you fucking want it to work all the time. You know, like anybody
yeah.
can agree on these possibilities. This could happen, this could happen, this could happen, right? But NI doesn't work like that, you know?
So you can't. So him, right? So first of all, my cousin does a lot of weird shit. Like one day he called me. He was like, "Yo, bro, you need to try this thing." And I was like, "What?" He was like, I crouched in the corner for 30 minutes to an hour, and I just started getting all these visions." And I'm like, "Okay, cool, bro. I'll try it." He's like, "Yeah, try it out." So he does a lot of weird shit. He's kind of spiritual,
Bro, you
but
sure this
like,
ain't an ENFP?
yeah, he says he's a I think he's an INTJ. He calls everybody
Okay.
stupid.
Okay.
He definitely used
Times you
T.
ever cross in the goddamn corner to get some vision? I ain't never done that shit.
He sounds weird.
Bro, he calls everybody stupid. He uses like all his the way that he argues is all TE based.
Like
And
references and
yeah, all references and shit like
yeah.
that. Um, and he also has a tendency, like if he looks at me. So after I told him that I was an INFJ, that the girl told me I was an INFJ, he was like, "No fucking way. I hear too much NE when you speak. There's no way you're a fucking INFJ." That's what he told me, right?
Hmm.
And so like he always criticizes me because he feels like, um, his mind is like really focused, and
Hmm.
mine is like really like
Hmm.
expansive. So if I
Hmm.
come to him with like 100 ideas, he's just like, bro, like this is way too much. Like this is too much. Like
Okay, that sounds NI.
narrow this shit down. Like this is way too much. And he'd be like, you don't have no focus. So I go to him when I want to hear about myself. Like when I need somebody to tell me some shit that I need to hear, like my ego needs to be checked. I go
Hmm.
talk to my cousin because he's gonna check my ego all the time. So yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean. That's interesting. Buddy over there like sitting in the corner with like tweaking. Like, bro,
Yeah,
you gotta
bro.
be able to use it out better than that, bro. I ain't got to crouch shit, nigga. Oh
Bro,
shit,
be
chip. Dude, I just I done had a Booker T moment. Hulk Hogan, we coming for you. All right, man. Well, man, it's been a pleasure.
word.
Yeah, we gonna get out of here, bro. Let me get your video up, man.
All right, bro.
Man. All right, DJ Academics.
All
I'll
right,
let
bro. All
you.
right,
All
later.
right.
All right.